All right, we're gonna start our walkthrough downstairs. Light switch turns on both lights. We've already gone through and tested all the outlets. All outlets are working. You may or may not be able to hear the fan in the video. That's it off. All cam lights on. This fan should have a remote somewhere as well. Water heater is hooked up. We did not turn it on. We leave that to plumbers. These lights are on a three-way, so you can have some light as you walk through. The other switch here is for outside. You can tell which one is for which, because the inside has no writing on it. That is a three-way switch. The single pole switch says on and off. It's currently in the on position, and the light outside is on. Now that is off. All breakers in here are on except for the water heater. When you are certain that the water heater is full, that is when you turn it on. As I'm not a plumber, I never say that I'm certain that a water heater is full. I'll turn off all the lights. Here. Now we're going upstairs. Now we are in the stairwell. I'll chop this video up a little bit so that it will more easily send via text. These are three-way switches, so you can turn them on and off at either end of the staircase. That is your closet switch. This is your hallway switch. That does the vanity light and the ceiling light. That is the light over the shower. And the third one is the fan. There's your receptacles. Both are GFI protected. Now, the wiring on this fan is controlled by this switch alone. This fan has a DC motor, and so it has to have a receiver. I'll send you a picture of that later. And therefore, we cannot bypass the remote and the receiver. The remote does seem to have some quirks. I got it to work for a minute, and then it stopped. We will try it here. My suggestion would be to trade it out for the one like you have in the living room, as it is controlled by switches and not remotes. We are now in the living room. The first switch is your ceiling fan. The second switch is the lights. On the ceiling fan, that is. So your can lights are the middle switch. And then these three lights right here are, for lack of a better term, your hall lighting. It's your first switch as you come in this door. Heath, you want to turn off the dining room light? Which switch is that?
Second one from the door.
All right. And the first one from the door does the outside light. Just the one right outside. This one right here, I believe, is switched from in here. Heath, would you tell me when that goes off? Okay, so that one's your garbage disposal. That's the light over the sink. The middle one is nothing, because this fan also has a remote and cannot be bypassed. The first switch is the ceiling fan, and the remote has to be used. And then this first switch are the kitchen cans, all except for that corner, which has its own switch on the wall. You can see right there. Steps. Hood is in. All right, so turn off these sconces. So that's the first switch as you exit the house. The second switch is the ceiling fan, which has a remote. So if the remote is has it in the off position, the fan will not be on. But go ahead and turn it back on. With the, as you saw, the fan was already on before we turn the switch off. It just takes a minute and the fan will pick up speed again until it's told otherwise by the remote. And as we showed, we didn't show this light on, but the switch is inside the house. And that's the first switch as you go inside.
Yep.
All right, now let's do this side of the porch.
Sorry, let me go through.
Heath is going to go to the other doorway.
These two lights are in here.
So the two right by the door. Which switch is that in there?
Third.
Third switch.
First switch I heard is lights.
Okay. It is two of the lights. And the second switch is the ceiling fans. Again, if they are preset by the remote, they should turn back on to their preset when power is restored at the switch. But it will have a delay. After all, it is converting to DC. All right, fans are up and going again.